Now you tell us.
Got it. So I was thinking about showing you the graph. I actually did update my graph, but I didn't put it in the package this time. And it's kind of hard to see. Really? Well, I could probably find it, but it's kind of hard to see because the jump that we took in rates was exactly 1 day later than 2 years when the big drop was. And so you just kind of see these lines coming together, and it's kind of hard to see them. But for a very long time, we were running with rates at 0.02%, right? And then in 1 day, they jumped to 0.26%. So it doesn't sound like very much, but that's 10 times as much as they were. And under new business, we're going to talk about what we can get on the market, because I think it might be time to start investing. At any rate, we're up 400,000 on the revenue side. On the expense side, we're actually almost exactly even with last year. And when you can do that, your net income jumps considerably. So there are reasons why that's maybe a little rosier than real life, if you will. Through March, we were behind somewhat in paying providers for a couple of reasons. We had a couple of providers that were very slow in signing and returning their contracts. So we don't pay them until we've got a signed contract. And then we also have 2 providers, CDD and Rainbow, who both have a large part of their contracts in vehicles this year. So rather than spreading them out over the year, they would get those in a chunk when we can buy them vehicles. As Jake's already pointed out, it looks like getting them vehicles at all this year may be a little problematic. So,
DPI has 1 vehicle as well.
okay.
Do we get them and then sell them ours?
No, what we'll be doing is we'll be buying them, and we'll keep a lien on the title.
Okay.
They'll get the vehicles, and then we'll maintain them as well, like we do. So that way we can ensure they're well cared for. So we can order them as a bunch and save some money. So what I did was contacted each one of them and asked, what do you want in the vehicle exactly? And so Joe standardized all that across them. So he's got the bids out, and we've got a couple back already. So we just don't know the availability of that.
So if you, this is the same information in a different format. I just wanted to point out, when comparing to budget, on the net income line, we've got a $450,000 favorable variance. So our revenues are almost exactly what we budgeted. We're 0.7% under budget. And our expenses are 10.7% under budget. It's unfavorable to be under budget in revenues. It's favorable to be under budget in expenses. So $450,000 favorable variance. And then I do have the larger sort of picture of all the expenses
I like that.
at once.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too, but it takes a little while to study it, and it's not really very conducive to most of the things we want to discuss. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on it tonight, but it's worth some study if you're interested in sort of the breakdown of who pays what for what. And so that's all I have on financial statements. Are there questions?
Is this on the end of our second quarter?
This is the end of the first quarter.
Okay.
So it's January through March.
Okay. 4 calendar fiscal year.
Yes, we are. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, Denise, are we ready to move on down the agenda?
Yes, sorry, I was having trouble getting it off to unmute. Yes, we are ready to head down to new business.
Okay, so under new business, as I mentioned, I think it's time. I think it's time for a couple of reasons to start investing again. For one reason, we've got a really strong cash position. We're in a good position to do it. And for another, interest rates have started to jump. We can get a treasury note with a maturity of August of 2023. So that's what, 15, 16 months, with a yield of 2.25%. Now that was the rate quoted yesterday. The market fluctuates daily, so tomorrow it'll be something a little different. But it should be close to that. And so I'd like your permission to put $500,000 in a treasury note. I don't want to do more than that because interest rates are going up, and next month we may find out we can do 3.5 or 4%. I don't know. But I think it's time that we start to gradually work our way back in to getting some better yields for the taxpayers.
How much liquidity did we have? How much was it? I don't recall.
Gobs, 12.67 million.
Compare it to CD rates and so on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Yeah, so Ed asked how much liquidity we have.
Okay,
And,
got it.
and we've got 12.67 million in cash and money market. The CD rates that are available are lower than that. We could get higher rates if we're willing to commit to longer terms. But I don't think much longer than that would be consistent with our mission. We're not here just to invest money.
Well, the fact that rates are probably going to be going up more, so I hate to.
I hate to tie it up too much, but
At least we start making something on
yeah.
Was there a prudent reserve as
Um,
a portion of?
okay, so we have 1,850,000 is what the board's operating reserve policy is. We also have a $300,000 reserve for providers that we did in December. That full amount, the 2.15 million, is segregated in a money market account, which was a good deal when we put it in that account. But actually, because it makes 0.15%, our sweep has now jumped above that. So I actually think if you'll approve the $500,000 investment, I think we'll take it out of the money market. I think this will put reserve money into the treasury note, which is what we formerly did with all of it.
Sorry to be naive, but does the treasury note work kind of like the CD where you locked it in for a certain period of time?
Yeah, so treasuries function they're actively traded on the market. So if we needed our money early, we could sell it for whatever the market value was at the time. But if you hold it until maturity, you'll get the principal plus the yield that you buy at, which is hopefully around 2.25.
So are you looking for a motion?
I'm praying for one.
It's low risk. It's low risk. Very low risk.
it's as low risk an investment as the world has.
I move that we direct our Tom to put the $500,000 in what he said.
Treasury.
Yes.
Treasury notes
Second treasury.
in August. With authority to
Probably
make,
needed 2 seconds.
Seconded.
Oh, second. Tim.
John moved and Tammy
sorry, I was just going to say, if facts change tomorrow, then we won't do something stupid. I'll come back to you, or we'll adjust accordingly.
Denise, are you calling for a vote on that motion and seconded motion?
I think it happened without my knowing because I can't hear, but yes. And Susan has it all recorded already. That's wonderful.
I don't think we voted.
We didn't vote
We
yet.
haven't
so-
voted yet. We haven't
You would call
voted
the
yet.
question, Mr. Neese.
Oh, shit. Make sure you get that on the record.
It's on record.
Did you say all in favor? Is that what you
Yeah,
just-
what John said. I
Aye.
Thank you.
opposed. No. Oh my gosh.
Good job, Denise.
No, I love it. Love it. Leave me with the numbers, not the parliamentarian stuff. Do we have any more new business, Tom?
None for me.
Anyone else? New business? No. Old business? No. Motion to adjourn?
So no public comment.
Oh, shit. Public comment. That's my comment.
Custom jar.
Yeah, we do need a messenger now.
Come on, no one in the public has a comment? All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank God. Do we have to vote on that now, John? Do we have to vote?
Yeah, Afraid so.
Motion to, just say aye if you want to adjourn.
Aye.
Aye. If you don't want to adjourn, you're a dumbass.
That's great.
Oh my gosh.
We got 2 minutes.
Thank
That
you.
was entertaining.
Thank you.
Always.
That's great.
We're gonna be so surprised at the finance report.
Eli, buys are finally come through with the buy.
Sorry, John, do you have something to say about the finance report, John?
No, I just said we're gonna be so surprised at the board meeting when it's brought up in 2 minutes.
Yeah, be prepared, Denise.
I am I'm so, don't y'all wonder how I manage how I'm a practice group manager at Chicardy and Bacon, been there 28 years. I'm sure my other partners do.
No, you could have done it the first year you were there, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
All right, I've got 6 o'clock. Everybody in agreement? All right, let's do our introductions. Denise, let's start with you.
Denise Talbert, board.
Taylor board. Susan Borgmeyer board. Angie Segovia board.
Jillian Raineyberg board.
Jay Jacobs staff.
Ed Van Halen, board.
George Mitchell, board.
Teddy Rowland board.
John Humphrey, board.
Holcomb staff.
Chris Meeks staff. Robin Meyer staff. Georgie McNamara staff. All right, thank you for everyone being here. Oh, there's somebody online. I'm sorry. We don't want to miss the people online. People online.
Roger Montero staff.
Melinda Barnett staff.
Sarah Albertson staff.
Dan Hoyt staff.
There we go.
Anna Maloney Navarro staff.
Did Tracy?
And Sarah Albertson.
Tracy's here too. She just
Tracy.
messaged me.
Tracy Mock staff.
There you go.
Sorry, I did it when Sarah did it, so.
again. Thank you. Now Denise, we're gonna throw it back to you.
I'm so excited.
Oh, I missed the third.
Secretary, wait.
Oh,
We
Do I
had
get to-
Denise, yeah, but we'll jump to you because you're up. And then we'll go back.
Yay! I'm gonna report, here's my starting line. The story this month is all positive. You should know, we have our strongest cash position in the last 3 years. We're within a few $1,000s of pre-COVID. We had a capital budget for 2022 of $835,000. Through first quarter 2022, we have spent approximately $150,000. Also, our first quarter 2022 net income is $154,000. We had higher revenue in the first quarter of 2022 than 2021. And notably, our DOT and direct support numbers are higher, definitely contributed to this. And finally, the Finance Committee approved moving $500,000 to a treasury note at approximately 2.25%. Tom, please supplement or correct.
Yay.
Good applause.
Good job. Good job. Now I apologize, Susan, because I skipped you over and I know I have catching up from January.
We have minutes, everybody got minutes from January 25th, 2022, and minutes from March 22nd, 2022. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes? And then I move that they,
Thank goodness.
and I move that they are approved as presented.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
And then we want to welcome Robin, who's going to help us out. And we appreciate you so much. You have no idea. And I'm sure Jake appreciates it and Susan appreciates it. So that really helps out. So thank you.
The March 22nd meeting of that meeting.
Yeah.
I have arthritis in my right.
So now we have our executive director's report. Jake?
Yeah, I sent that out a little late yesterday to you all. Anybody have any questions or comments about it? I do have one update that I got today. The Senate passed House Bill 3004, which includes a $7 million increase for transit and general revenue. That's the first time we've had an increase in transit general revenue for about 10 years.
in what general?
Transit. So we'll be able to probably pull down some of that money.
Oh, for duck.
And then they also increased a METAP grant, which is something we apply for every year. Tom, what's the last amount we got?
What is that for?
Missouri Elderly and Handicapped Transportation Grant. Yeah.
So
I want to 3-something, 340, I don't want to say 3. No.
I actually don't have anything with me.
Well, we draw down, the whole state, entities like us draw down, and other entities that are eligible for it draw down, Missouri Elderly and Handicapped Transportation. And we usually get around 300,000, something like that, I think is what it. And so you send in a report of how much you're paying for your system. Roger does a wonderful job of that every year with the grant. And it's usually we're paying, $1 million for our services and we're getting back 300 something. Well, they've increased the grant this year by $2 million across the state. Statewide. Now that still has to be approved by the House. It's going back to the House for that, but they're pretty certain that will probably stay in effect. So we'll wait and see. So that's the only update I have on
and then the
legislative
governor's
stuff.
got to sign it too. Will that be something?
Yeah, it'll be, let's see, in conference, they'll be negotiating because it's higher than what the House wanted. So. That's all I had.
Fingers crossed. I just, this is probably a silly question, but maybe it's rhetorical. The DSP, that website.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that we are 100% bill party boards.
Not yet. We haven't signed up for it yet. We don't typically hire direct support professionals.
Okay.
But so the focus right now is on direct support professionals. So
Okay.
there's 80 entities around the state, such as CDD and DPI. They're all members locally. And if you go to that website, and I'll send that out to you, I don't think I included it. But it's a map of Missouri with all the counties laid out. If you live in Jackson County, you click on Jackson County, and it shows you all the entities that are hiring DSPs.
So I'm, as Susan said, I'm gonna ask my stupid question. What exactly is DSP?
Direct support professionals.
I know, but what does that mean? I
Those
got the
are
word.
those are the people that work in your day programs, your residential services, that type of thing. And we're hopeful at, what we can do at some point, probably in the next month or so, we'll get on board with that. And we can list our support coordinators and our drivers on there as well, although they're not DSPs, but they're going to allow the rest of us to do that. So we'll be participating in it. We wanted to focus on the DSPs first. So. And the whole focus is making, presenting this as a career that you can go into and grow within an organization and move your way up. And so it's been a real great, I served on the committee for MACDDS, and there was about 10 of us from MACDDS and about 10 from MARF, which is the rehabilitation facilities across the state like CDD and DPI. That was making me lose my voice too. And so it was a really great partnership between both entities to get this established. That's all I have.
Any other questions? All right, then we've got new business.
No.
All right, old business. I know we have I'm gonna turn it over to our acting chair. We have a tabled motion that would fall under old business. Can I just make one small statement? I'm asking you.
Yeah.
I just want to say on this pending motion that, I'm 63 years old. I've got 4 kids and 2 grandkids. I have a son with Down syndrome that's 27 years old. And that's why I'm on this board. But I'm not here because it fulfills any self-worth or being chair of this board. I just want to be able to look my kids in the face and my grandkids and say that I tried my best. So with that, John, I'm asking you to please take a vote.
We stay on the board.
Yes, for the chairmanship. That was the motion, right?
The motion is to change the chair. Yes.
Yeah. Right. That's all I have to say. I think we kind of talked it to death, and I think everybody wants to move on because we've got such important work to do in the coming months.
So you're willing to resign the chair?
I'm asking for a vote.
Okay. Pursuant to the board manual, and we got an email from Dale Wertz that governs.
John, can you speak up just a bit?
Pursuant to the board policy manual, which governs in the absence of any mandate specified in the bylaws or state statutes, we can remove an officer from the officer's position without cause by 2/3 majority of the voting members present. And I move for a vote without cause to see whether or not there's a 2/3 majority to change the chair.
We already have the motion on the table, so I think you just
Okay.
call.
Yeah.
Good. Vote. Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
No.
No.
Denise.
Aye.
Tammy.
Motion carries.
All right. Tammy, will you take the chair?
That's up to everybody else.
Nominate Tammy for chair.
Is it in the bylaws that we do that, or is it in the bylaws that the
Well, the vice chair would, but George has served 2 consecutive terms.
Okay,
So you have to be off a
a
year,
year before you could do it.
and that's. I would nominate Tammy. I think we have to have a chair. Any seconds on her nomination?
I second.
All in favor?
Was there really any other nominations?
I'm sorry. Anybody else? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Those opposed, Tom.
those opposed? That's all the old business I had.
Any abstentions?
John, just to point on that, you will serve the unexpired term. How long?
All right, yeah, to the end of the year.
Should be the acting chair until we have elections at the end of the year.
Any abstentions?
Abstain.
All right, you get the 2 abstentions.
Yeah.
Ed and George.
Okay, so two abstentions, George and Ed. That's it? Everyone else voted yes?
All the same.
I'm sorry. And everyone else voted yes, correct?
All right, and any other old business? Do we have anything else under old business? Anybody? Have any public comments? Okay, I believe that we're going to go into closed session if I can get a motion per section 610.010 of the Missouri Open Meetings and Records Law to go into session or closed session for personnel issues.
So motion. I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? All right, we will go into closed session and thank you all for being here.